My girlfriend texted, "Don't freak out. I lost your laptop. My ex borrowed it for a project, and now he can't find it." I replied, "No problem. I'll handle it." 5 days later, I made a few calls, filed a quick report, and waited. When her ex got a visit from the police and a $200 fine he couldn't explain, she finally texted, "What did you do?" "I'm 32, male, work as a senior financial analyst at a mid-size investment firm in Cleveland. Been with Harper for about 16 months. Things were solid, or so I thought. We hadn't moved in together yet. I had my condo downtown. She had her apartment in Lakewood. But we'd been talking about next steps lately, maybe combining leases when mine was up in spring. She's 28, works as a marketing coordinator for a healthcare startup, mostly remote, has her own MacBook for everything. I had my work-issue Dell for the office, but I also kept a personal gaming laptop. A custom MSI I'd built out 2 years ago, cost me $20,800. Used it for side projects, some light gaming, and most importantly, my weekend photography business. I shoot weddings and events, nothing huge, but it brings in an extra $15,000 a year. That laptop had 4 years of client work, editing templates, and my business files. Plus, I keep my cryptocurrency wallets on there, about $15,000 in Bitcoin that I'd been holding since 2019. Not life-changing money, but enough to matter significantly. The text came on a Wednesday afternoon around 2:30 p.m. I was reviewing quarterly reports when my phone buzzed, saw Harper's name, figured it was something normal. "Harper, don't freak out. I lost your laptop. My ex borrowed it for a project and now he can't find it." I stared at that message for a solid 10 seconds. Her ex, she'd mentioned him before. Preston Walker, 29, works as a real estate agent here in Cleveland. They dated for almost 2 years, broke up about 7 months before Harper and I got together. She said it ended amicably, stayed friendly, no drama. I'd never met him, never had a reason to care. She'd mention him occasionally. Saw him at a networking event, liked his Instagram post about closing a big sale, that kind of thing. I trusted her, so I never thought much of it. Me, "Why did your ex have my laptop?" "Harper, he needed to borrow one for a client presentation. Mine's been glitchy and you weren't around." "I'm really sorry, babe." Me, "When did you give it to him?" Harper, "Like 6 days ago. He said he'd return it Sunday, but now he's saying he can't find it." "I'm so sorry." 6 days? She'd given my personal laptop to her ex-boyfriend 6 days ago and was only telling me now because he'd lost it. Me, "No problem, I'll handle it." I didn't text anything else. Finished my analysis on autopilot, drove home early. Harper wasn't there. She had client calls from her apartment. Wouldn't see her until evening. I sat at my kitchen island and just thought it through. The condo was quiet except for the hum of the dishwasher. Why would she give him my laptop without asking? She could have called, texted, waited for me to get home. 6 days ago was Thursday. I specifically remembered being home that evening, working on editing photos from a weekend wedding, while she watched Netflix in my living room. She could have asked. Sunday came and went. It was now Wednesday. 3 days of him looking for it, and she only told me when she couldn't avoid it anymore. Something was off. Not just the laptop, the whole situation. Why was she comfortable giving him my stuff? Why wait so long to tell me? I opened my laptop tracking app. I'd installed Prey on all my devices years ago. Old habit from working with sensitive financial data. Checked the dashboard. Last ping was Monday afternoon, 4:15 p.m., at an address I didn't recognize. Residential area in Ohio City, about 15 minutes away. I screenshotted everything, saved the coordinates, pulled up Google Maps. Street view showed a decent apartment complex, newer construction, probably $800 to $2,000 a month. Not the kind of place someone who needs to borrow laptops usually lives. Then I called my buddy Tony, who's a patrol officer with Cleveland PD. We went to high school together, stayed close over the years. "Tony, I need advice. Someone borrowed my laptop and won't return it. What are my options?" "You got proof it's yours? Serial number, receipts?" "Yeah, all of it, plus tracking software, last known location, everything. File a police report. If it's worth over $1,000, that's felony theft in Ohio. You got text showing you asked for it back? Working on that part. Get it in writing, text them, ask for it back clearly. If they refuse or ignore you, file the report. Bring all your proof. We'll handle it from there. And listen, if you've got tracking data showing where it is, bring that too. Makes our job easier." I thanked him and hung up. Then I texted Preston. I'd gotten his number from Harper's phone a few months back. She'd left it unlocked while showing me photos from her friend's birthday. And I saw his contact when he texted about some mutual friend's engagement. Saved it without thinking much about it at the time. Me, hey Preston, this is Harper's boyfriend. She mentioned you borrowed my laptop last week. I need it back by tomorrow. Can you drop it off, or should I pick it up? No response. I waited 3 hours, checking my phone every 10 minutes. Harper came over around 7 Barisings, immediately started apologizing, said Preston was looking everywhere, maybe left it at his office, maybe at a client's house. She seemed nervous, talking faster than usual, not quite meeting my eyes. Why didn't you ask me before giving it to him? You weren't around and he really needed it. I didn't think it was a big deal. It's my laptop, Harper. My business files are on there. I know, I'm sorry. I'll pay for a new one if you can't find it. I'll give you the money this week, I promise. It's not about the money. She got quiet. We ordered Thai food, ate mostly in silence. I kept checking my phone. Preston never replied. Thursday morning, still nothing. I texted him again at 9 a.m., right when I got to my office. Me, Preston, I need a response. Do you have my laptop or not? 2:30 p.m. Don't have it, man. Told Harper already. Think I left it somewhere. Still looking. Me, where did you last have it? No response. I waited until 5 p.m. Nothing. Harper kept glancing at me throughout the evening, opening her mouth like she wanted to say something, then closing it again. The tension was thick. Friday morning, I made a decision. Instead of going straight to the police, I gave it one more day, called in sick, drove to the address where my tracking software had last pinged. The apartment complex looked exactly like the Google Street View, upscale, well-maintained. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, thinking through my options. This wasn't about being vindictive. This was about protecting my assets and my business. I drove to Preston's real estate office instead. Small firm in Westlake, about 15 minutes from downtown. Asked the receptionist if Preston Walker was in. She said he was out with clients all day, wouldn't be back until Monday. I left my business card with a note on the back. Need to discuss my laptop. Call me today. He never called. That evening, Harper came over with Chinese takeout. She seemed more relaxed, like she thought the worst was behind us. Any word from Preston? I asked. He's really trying to find it. He thinks maybe he left it at a coffee shop when he was meeting with clients. He's going to call them all this weekend. Which coffee shop? She paused, chopsticks halfway to her mouth. I don't know. He didn't say specifically. What clients? I don't know, Jordan. I'm not his secretary. I'm just telling you what he told me. Something in her tone bothered me. Defensive. Like I was the problem for asking basic questions about my stolen property. Monday morning, I went to the police station during my lunch break. Brought everything. Receipt from when I built the laptop 2 years ago. Serial number I'd photographed and kept in my files. Screenshots of the tracking data showing the last location, and the complete text exchange with Preston. Filed a report for theft of property over $1,000. Officer Stevens took the report. Professional, thorough, asked detailed questions about when I'd last seen it, when Harper gave it away. Preston's responses to my texts. Just so you know, he said, if it's worth over $1,000 and he's refusing to return it, that's felony theft in Ohio. We'll send someone to his address to retrieve it or issue a citation. Could take several days to process the warrant request. Understood. I just want my property back. We'll do our best. Keep your phone on in case we need more information. I didn't tell Harper I'd filed the report. She kept updating me throughout the week. Preston was working on it. Maybe he'd remember this. Weekend where he put it. Maybe someone at his office had seen it. Her excuses were getting more elaborate and less believable. I just nodded, acted like I believed her, waited for the police to do their job. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, nothing. I was starting to wonder if filing the report had been the right move, or if I should have pushed harder myself first. But Thursday afternoon changed everything. My phone rang during a client meeting. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail, checked it during a break. Mr. Turner, this is Officer Stevens with Cleveland PD. We went to Preston Walker's address today regarding your theft report. He wasn't home, but we left a notice on his door. We also ran his record through the system as part of our standard procedure. He's got some prior issues we thought you should know about. Please call me back when you get this." I stepped outside the conference room, called him back immediately. "Officer Stevens, this is Jordan Turner returning your call." "Yeah, Mr. Turner, quick update. We served a notice at Walker's apartment. He has 48 hours to contact us, or we proceed with a search warrant. But here's what's interesting. When we ran his background, he's got a civil court case from last year that never got resolved. Failure to appear on gambling debts totaling about $8,000. It's been sitting inactive, but now that we've made contact through your case, the court's been notified." "Gambling debts?" "Yeah, looks like he owed money to several creditors, missed his court date when they tried to garnish wages. It's a separate issue from your case, but thought you'd want to know what kind of person you're dealing with. We see this pattern sometimes. People with money problems making poor decisions about other people's property." I thanked him and hung up, stood outside my office building and processing this information. Harper's ex had gambling problems and unpaid debts. Suddenly his need to borrow my expensive laptop made more sense. And Harper either didn't know, or she'd failed to mention this rather significant detail about her supposedly friendly ex-boyfriend. I decided not to tell Harper about the police contact yet. Wanted to see how she'd handle the next 48 hours, whether Preston would reach out on his own or if he'd keep playing games. That evening, Harper seemed distracted, checking her phone more than usual. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Yeah, just work stuff. Busy week." "Any update from Preston?" "Not today, but he's still looking." She was lying. I could tell from the way she wouldn't quite meet my eyes, the slight hesitation before she answered. Either she knew something she wasn't telling me, or Preston had contacted her about something else entirely, like maybe a visit from the police. Friday evening, my phone rang while Harper and I were watching a movie. Her phone was on the coffee table next to mine, and I saw Preston's name flash on her screen at almost the exact same moment mine started, ringing. She grabbed her phone quickly, declining the call. My phone was Officer Stevens. "Mr. Turner?" "Yeah. We got the search warrant approved for Walker's residence. We'll be executing it tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. Just wanted to give you a heads up." "Thank you, officer." I hung up. Harper was staring at me, phone clutched in her hand. "Who was that?" "Work stuff. Who was calling you?" "Nobody important. Wrong number." Another lie. Preston's name had been clear on her screen. "Harper, is there something you want to tell me?" She looked genuinely confused. "About what?" "About Preston. About my laptop. About anything you might not have mentioned." "I don't know what you mean." I decided to test her. "Did you know Preston has gambling debts?" The color drained from her face. "What? No, that's not... Where did you hear that?" "So you did know." "I mean, he mentioned he had some financial stress last year, but not gambling specifically. Everyone has money problems sometimes." "Financial stress significant enough to end up in court?" She went quiet for a long moment. "How do you know about that?" "So you did know about the court case." "He told me he had some creditor issues that got blown out of proportion. It wasn't a big deal." "Not a big deal? Harper, he owes $8,000 and skipped a court date. That's not blown out of proportion." "You investigated him? Are you serious right now?" "I didn't investigate anyone. I filed a police report for my stolen laptop. They ran a background check as part of their procedure." She stood up abruptly. "You called the police? On Preston?" "I filed a report about my missing laptop. Yes." "Oh my God. Jordan, what did you do? He's going to get in so much trouble." "Good. He stole my laptop. He didn't steal it. I gave it to him. Without my permission. And now he won't return it. That's theft, Harper. Legally, that's exactly what theft is." She grabbed her purse. "I need to warn him." "Warn him about what? That he should return stolen property? This is insane. You're going to ruin his life over a laptop." "Then he should return my laptop. Simple solution." She left without another word. Didn't come back that night. Didn't answer my texts asking where she was. Saturday morning, 10:15 a.m., my phone rang. Officer Stevens again. "Mr. Turner, we executed the search warrant at Walker's apartment. Found your laptop." "You found it?" "Yes, sir. It was in his bedroom, inside a backpack in his closet, underneath some clothes and shoes. Pretty deliberate concealment. We're processing it as evidence right now, but you should get it back within the week." I sat down heavily on my couch. "It was hidden in his closet?" "That's correct." Not lost, not misplaced. Hidden. We took photographs, documented everything. The DA's office will review the case, but given the evidence and the value of the property, they'll likely pursue charges. What kind of charges? Could go either way. If he takes a plea deal, probably misdemeanor theft with restitution and probation. If he fights it and they prove intent to permanently deprive, could be felony theft. But most people in his situation take the plea. Thank you, Officer Stevens. I really appreciate everything you've done. Just doing our job. We'll be in touch about getting your property back to you. I hung up and immediately texted Harper. Me. Police found the laptop. It was hidden in Preston's closet. I waited. An hour passed, then another. Finally, around 1 p.m. Harper? What? Me. They searched his apartment with a warrant. It was in his bedroom closet in a backpack, hidden under clothes. He didn't lose it. He kept it. 3 dots appeared and disappeared for what felt like forever. Harper? That doesn't make sense. Why would he do that? Me? He lied to you, to both of us. Harper? There has to be an explanation. Me? The explanation is that he stole my laptop and lied about it repeatedly. Harper? I need to talk to him. Me? Good luck. With that? She didn't respond after that. I tried calling once around 5 p.m., went straight to voicemail. Left a message asking her to call me back. She never did. Sunday was quiet. I cleaned my condo, did laundry, went grocery shopping, tried to process everything that had happened in the past week. The relief of knowing my laptop was safe mixed with anger about being lied to, mixed with disappointment about Harper's reaction. She'd chosen to defend a thief over supporting her boyfriend of 16 months. Monday morning at work, I couldn't concentrate. Kept checking my phone, waiting for Harper to text or call. Nothing. Around lunchtime, Tony called. Heard through the grapevine that your laptop situation got resolved. Yeah, they found it, hidden in his closet. No shit, so he was lying the whole time? Apparently. What about your girlfriend? She taking it well? She's not talking to me, thinks I went too far by involving police. Went too far? Dude, he stole your laptop and hid. What were you supposed to do? Ask nicely forever? That's what I thought too. Look, I've seen this before. People show you who they are when things get real. Your girlfriend showed you where her loyalty lies, and it wasn't with you. He was right, but hearing it out loud still stung. Tuesday afternoon, Harper finally texted. Harper, Preston got arrested. Me? When? Harper, this morning. He got pulled over for expired registration. When they ran his name, they arrested him on the old court case warrant. He's in county jail, can't make bail. I didn't know what to say to that. It was unfortunate, but it wasn't my fault he'd skipped court on his gambling debts. Me, that's separate from the laptop case. Harper, are you kidding me? That's all you have to say? His life is falling apart and you don't even care. Me, where's my laptop? She didn't respond for 3 hours. When she finally replied, it was just, Harper, I can't do this anymore. Me, can't do what? Harper, be with someone who's this cold and vindictive. You got him arrested and you don't even care that his life is ruined. Me, I filed a police report for my stolen property. He got arrested because he had an outstanding warrant from skipping court on his gambling debts. Those are 2 separate issues. Harper, you knew this would happen. Me, I knew that filing a report about stolen property might result in consequences for the person who stole it. Yes. She didn't respond after that. I waited until Thursday, then tried calling. The call went straight to voicemail. She'd blocked my number. Friday afternoon, Officer Stevens called with an update. Mr. Turner, wanted to let you know Walker took a plea deal, pled guilty to misdemeanor theft, agreed to pay full restitution of $2,800 plus court costs and fines. Total came to about $1,500 in fines, $800 in court costs, and he had to hire a private attorney, which ran him another $1,900. So all in, he's looking at around $4,200 out of pocket. What about his real estate license? That's handled by the state licensing board. They'll review the conviction independently. Could be suspension, could be revocation. Not our department, but typically theft convictions don't play well with real estate licensing. When do I get my laptop back? Should be ready for pickup early next week. We'll call you. Thank you, Officer Stevens. I really appreciate how you handled this. Just doing our job. And for what it's worth, you did the right thing. People need to learn there are consequences for taking other people's property. The following week, Harper's friend Michelle texted me from Harper's phone. "This is Michelle. Harper asked me to get the rest of her stuff from your place. When would be a good time?" I realized Harper had things scattered around my condo. Some clothes in my dresser, toiletries in the bathroom, a few books, her favorite coffee mug, evidence of 16 months together. Me, I'm usually home after 6 p.m. on weekdays. She can pick a day. "Michelle, she doesn't want to see you. Can you put everything in a bag and leave it with your building's front desk?" So, that's how it ended. I gathered her belongings, more than I'd realized, packed everything carefully in 2 grocery bags, left them with Marcus at the front desk with her name on them. No note, no final conversation, no closure. I got my laptop back the following Tuesday. Everything was intact. Preston had apparently tried to access my cryptocurrency wallets, but didn't know my passwords. All my photography files were untouched, business data secure, tax documents unmolested. It was like he'd barely used it beyond trying to crack into my crypto accounts. Just kept it, maybe planning to sell it eventually. 3 weeks later, I heard through mutual friends that Preston's real estate license had been suspended for 6 months. He had also lost his job with the firm. They couldn't keep an agent who couldn't legally practice. Between the legal fees, fines, restitution, and lost income, he was essentially broke. Harper had apparently been helping him figure out his finances and probation requirements. The mutual friend, Jeff, who'd introduced Harper and me originally, seemed to think I should feel guilty about the consequences. "Don't you think you went a little overboard?" he asked when we ran into each other at a bar downtown. "I mean, the guy's life is basically ruined over a laptop. He stole my laptop and lied about it for weeks. Actions have consequences." "But Harper gave it to him. It's not like he broke into your place." "Harper didn't have permission to give away my property, and he knew that. That's why he lied about losing it instead of just returning it when I asked." Jeff shrugged. "I guess. Just seems harsh." "What seems harsh is dating someone for 16 months and having them give your property to their ex without asking, then defend the ex when he lies about stealing it." "Fair point." I haven't heard from Harper since Michelle picked up her stuff. Mutual friends say she and Preston are talking again, that she's been very supportive during his legal troubles. I honestly don't care anymore. I'm looking at bigger condos closer to downtown, thinking about expanding my photography business now that I know my equipment is secure. Some people have asked why I didn't just ask him nicely first, or why I didn't give Harper more of a chance to work it out herself. I did both of those things. I texted Preston twice asking for my laptop back. He ignored me the first time and lied the second time, saying he didn't have it when it was literally hidden in his closet. I gave Harper a week to handle it through her relationship with him. She chose to make excuses instead of demanding accountability. For those saying the consequences were too harsh, Preston had my laptop with $15,000 worth of cryptocurrency and 4 years of business files hidden in his closet while lying repeatedly about it to both Harper and me. If he'd simply returned it the first time I asked, none of the legal consequences would have happened. I didn't ruin his career. He did that when he decided to steal and lie rather than return borrowed property. The laptop was just a thing, but respect isn't. Some boundaries you don't cross, some lines you don't let people cross, and some relationships aren't worth preserving if they require you to accept being treated without basic respect. When someone shows you that your property, your trust, and your boundaries mean less to them than their comfort or convenience, you should believe them the first time. The cost of ignoring that lesson is always higher than the cost of learning it.